Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Sit Down with Alex. My name is Alex, and welcome back to another episode. Today is gonna be, I'm not gonna lie, today is gonna be a good one. Today is gonna be a good one because today I'm gonna be talking about the biggest thing, that I never thought we'd be talking about, and that is the breakup I had with my ex girlfriend. Dun dun dun. Yes. I feel like this is something that I kind of held on from talking about, but this is my podcast and I can do whatever I want. Not that the reason. Okay, so the reason why I kind of wanted to talk about this today is because one, I did not read my Bible, but two, um, I feel like somebody out there is going through a hard time, going through a very hard breakup, right? And I'm gonna tell you right now, it gets better. Okay, 100% gets better. And hopefully, hearing my story and hearing what I got to say about things, kind of helps you out in a way. Okay, because I've gone through the ringer. I really thought I found the love of my life. I thought I found the person I was gonna marry. I thought I found the person who was just meant for me. I thought I found my soulmate, gang. But I was wrong. Okay. And I'm here now. I think like 3 years later. I think is it I honestly don't know how long it's been. But you know, I mean that's how you know improvement. But yeah, I don't really think about it anymore because well, I haven't thought about it in a minute. The reason why I thought about it is because I saw a TikTok of somebody just like crying about their ex and I'm like, dude, they get like it pissed me off. I was like, dude, like relax. So it kind of inspired that well this episode. But anyway, enough ranting and let's get into the story. So I think the first episode or something like that where I did talk about like things like my past relationships. I did say I had three, but I didn't get into detail of on them, especially with my recent one, which is the one where it's a big eye opener for me as a man, because one, it was the reason why I got close to God. She broke my heart so bad it got me close to Christ, bro. Do I regret it though? No. All right. Thank you. That's all I can say is thank you because I sit right here as a different person, as a different man, a man who's trying to do better each day. Do I mess up? Yes. Of course I'm going to mess up. I am an imperfect human, trying to live a perfect world, but nobody could ever be perfect. No one could ever be like Jesus Christ, who was perfect. But I try. Um, but yes, the breakup was super bad. Um, so if you're going out, if you're out there right now going through something like this, it gets better, brother or sister. Like it. Trust me when I say this. Let go and let God. It's probably one of the biggest things probably one of the biggest things that helped me. Um, you know, if you need somebody to talk to, just pray, and all will be answered. But yeah, so buckle up. I'm gonna tell you my story time. I'm gonna tell you my experience. I'm gonna tell you what happened to me, and I'm gonna tell you how it kind of got me closer to God, and yeah, hopefully you guys can resonate. Um, when I started working at the job I'm at now, actually, um, we my cousin took me into the job. Was talking to me. I didn't know what to do. It's a bagel shop. I didn't know how to cut a bagel or anything, whatever. But nonetheless, I met the girl who was going to be, my girl. Well, my ex girlfriend. I'm not gonna say names because out of respect, because I'm a gentleman and I have class. But mm, I remember my cousin introduced us, and he was telling me off the rip, like, "Hey, I think you're gonna like this girl. She seems like she's your type and stuff like that." So I mean, I didn't pay mind to it. because at that time, oh my god, I'm scared because nobody knows this, bro. But I'm being honest with my podcast. I'm being honest right now as a man of God. I am being honest with you guys. Okay, I was in a horrible place at that time. Um, at that time, I was not religious at all. I was a completely different man. All I just wanted to do was have sex and just honestly just have sex. Um, it was horrible, but I remember during just when he was introducing us and stuff like that, I had girls on my phone, who would send me nudes and who would, just I would have somebody who, if I wanted to just have sex with at that time, I would just order to the hotel and have sex with them. Like it was. I was in a very bad state of mind. I just wanted to pop a nut off and get my day going. So I remember going into the relationship or going into meeting this my ex at the time. Um, I don't want to give her benefit of the doubt because why, but I went into this with like she doesn't know this. Like I'm a dog basically. Like I was doing stuff I wasn't supposed to. Like when you know what I'm saying. Like so I remember like we would talk and stuff like that, and we were texting. We got to know each other. We went out as a group, and then we got to know each other and stuff like that. And then sooner or later, we started hanging out alone, and we started texting more, and started hanging out alone, just us two. Um, that's when things started getting kind of you know a little physical. Where I remember the first time we kissed and stuff like that. Right, mind you, I still had these girls texting me because I just wanted to crack, but as getting to know her and as kind of getting closer to her, more closer, I was getting more closer to her than the other girls because I just texted them and and they texted me whenever they just wanted to, when they just wanted to crack, right? So, well, with my ex, I kind of ended up growing a connection with her. So off the rip already, I'm in the wrong here too. But I'm not giving her benefit of the doubt, okay? Let me finish the story, okay? Um, so yeah, we started just seeing each other. And I remember even she asked me like, "So what are we gonna do here? Are we just gonna fool around, or you want to take this seriously and stuff like that?" And I remember I asking myself like, shoot, man, we could fool around. I mean, I don't mind, But I think I think I started falling or I started catching feelings because whenever we hung out, it was never just okay. We're gonna hang out, and I'm gonna do my thing. But we generally had just a good time hanging out, and we generally had I could withstand a conversation with her, and I could just talk about her. I could just talk about anything with her, right? So we talked, and we were like, no, like I generally do like you. So yeah, that's how that started. We ended up dating, and we dated for I on paper 3 years, but to me it was 2. The last year was dog shit. I'm sorry I cursed. Sorry, but it was bad. Um, it was great. We dated for 2 years, which was amazing. We hardly ever fought. We, you know, did so much together. We saw each other almost every day at work, outside of work, and stuff like that. And it was just an amazing time. And the reason why I say that is because, listen, it's standing here right now, I am a completely different person to who I was before. Yes, I was a dog and I wanted to just have sex with everybody. And then when I met her, I just wanted to be with her. Um, and now I'm standing before you as a man of God and as a man of truth. And I feel like I try to be true to myself at least and trying to be a better man every day. You know, I realized that I was putting her first, and putting her above everything. I wasn't religious. I mean, to be honest with you, I guess I was somewhat religious because I was born a Catholic because of my grandmother, and she planted that seed in me, where it's like, okay, I know that there's a God, I know this, and if I ever had trouble, she always told me just to pray and just make sure things are, to make sure things are good. and has always resonated with me, right? But the problem is that I didn't put God first ever in my life, and so I think it I kind of saw why. I kind of saw a glimpse of like, okay, if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to follow Christ, then this is what you get. Um, I was putting her first. I was putting her first before my mom, before my family, before my friends, before anything, and I regret that so much. I ruined a lot of personal relationships and a lot of friendships that I thought that I could never regain, but I did, thankfully. You know, I'm more closer to my family than ever and stuff like that. And I think I thank God that I got closer to Him as well. I just um I just noticed that I stopped my plans, what I had or what God has for me, for her. Whatever she wanted, she got it. Whatever she needed, I'm there. Whatever problem that she had, I was always there for her, and I always made sure that she was loved, taken care of, and just happy. Wasn't enough. But the one thing I am going to say is that I do regret it because, you know, I should have built the foundation of God, and I should have really just truly be just different. I should there was a lot of disrespect that happened, but I just let it slide and stuff like that. So it was just a bunch of stuff, but I was happy. And I can't tell you that I wasn't happy. I was the happiest boy in the freaking world. I genuinely thought that I found my person. I genuinely thought that I found the mother of my future kids. I genuinely thought I found my wife, you know. So as time progressed and we go on to the third year, it starts to get a little sloppy. It's starting to get a little kind of patterns start to change. And believe it or not, she ended up doing me wrong. She ended up cheating on me, bruh. Now, the reason why I'm so scared of talking about this, well, I guess putting it out on the internet and kind of like just saying it out loud to the internet is because I'm a nice person. I I guess, right? Like listen, people who could have an ex that they hate, right? And they're like, yo, if they ever get a chance to even talk about that ex, they always end up being like, I hate them. I hope the worst for them. And I hope that they go in a ditch and, die or whatever, right? The reason why I don't like talking about this is because I do not like people talking bad about others. Yes, she did me wrong, right? She did me wrong. Me. She didn't do you wrong, but she did me wrong. And people, and if you're watching this and you relate, yes, I get it. The pain, it hurts to get cheated on. It hurts to get betrayed. I've gone through it all, dude. Like this girl looked at me in my face and told me that she loved me and was lying. I'm looking at you and I'm saying it's gonna get better. But the one thing that you can't like you really can't do is to hate them. And I know it's easy to hate them. I know it's easy. That route is to be like, you know what? I hate them. I'll move on. You can never move on with your life. If I'm honestly speaking to you, man to man or man to girl, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't discriminate here, but you're never gonna move on with your life if you keep on having that hatred in your heart. And don't get me wrong, I did hate her. I did not like her for a minute, bruh. I remember like I would cry every day, and I couldn't just couldn't believe that she would do that after all that I do, after all the sacrifices that I put through, that I put myself through just to make you happy and just to give you the things that you wanted, and for you to do me like that and just to put me to the side, it breaks a man's be pride, soul, whatever you name it, right? So obviously, I have a good reason to hate her, but Why hate? Listen, Jesus was crucified by his own people, right? Was lynched, had a crown of thorns just onto his brain. And not once did Jesus say, I hate you. Or why are you know what I'm saying? He bared that pain and he forgave. And when he died on that cross, he said, Father, forgive them for they not know what they do. I could be wrong. Correct me on that. Died on the cross, forgiving us, forgiving to the people, forgiving the people that just killed him. I remember I was in the car crying, and I remember I was just screaming. I was parked up and I was screaming like, "Why am I going through this? Why me? Why me?" You know. And I remember I was asking. I remember I prayed and I said, "God, why am I going through this? Why the girl that I love is out with somebody else or whatever, right? Why am I here alone with a broken heart? Why, if I gave her everything that I tried to give her and it wasn't enough?" I felt warmth and I felt like somebody hugged me like to comfort me, and it was probably like the best feeling I've ever had because I felt like somebody was actually listening to me. Now, like I said before, I did not like her. I hated her for a while. I had hatred in my heart, but as time progressed and as time moved, I didn't. Yes, I did drink and I did do a lot of stupid stuff, but that was like after I forget. It was a weird process, but it was like after I like kind of like was like, okay, I'm okay again, right? But during that process, I was running every day. It was summertime. I was running in the blazing heat with like a lot of layers on. Just I lost a lot of weight, whatever. But I was going on a journey, and I remember I would always pray, and I would be like, "Lord, give me the strength," and He was giving me the strength. He was giving me the strength to move on. I wanted to be powerful. I wanted to have strength, this emotional strength, and He was giving it to me. And He was telling me, "You want to be strength. You want to be strong. You want to really, move on and truly grow as a person and learn. You got to learn how to forgive." So yeah, I forgave her. Does she know that? No, she don't know that. I don't feel like she has to know that. In my opinion, all right, you never know. But knowing that I forgave her from my own heart, where I'm like, you know what, Lord, I pray for her and I say I forgive her. I truly do forgive her. And I was at one time where it's like I always pray, but I always still the Lord knows everything. God knows everything, and He knew I was still holding something. But I think one since we both still worked at the same job, and one time I saw her after months of whatever, or like a year. I don't know how long it's been, but it was a while. And I remember I saw her and I didn't feel anything anymore. There was no hatred. There was no feeling. It was just me seeing a coworker or just seeing just a girl again. But it's so weird because I saw a girl that I knew kind of everything about. We did everything together, but yet now we're back to being strangers in a way. And it was the weirdest thing, but I didn't have hate and I didn't just be a dick. you know, I actually held a conversation. I actually started the conversation. I actually started talking to her, and I was like, hope everything's good, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I remember right then and there, that's when I knew I think I truly do forgive her. I tend to forget that we're all human. We all make mistakes. We're all living this life for the first time, and we're all dealing with so much stuff that we don't even talk about. You know, you gotta have a best friend, but you're not gonna tell your best friend your darkest little secret things that you deal with on the day to day on. But when you lay down in bed and you're thinking those thoughts that you have, your own personal battles, you're not gonna talk to them about nobody else, but you could talk to them about God. You know. So I remember that's when I truly forgave her, and that's when I was like, that's when I guess the ball started rolling, right? The ball started kind of like, ooh, 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 now we're getting somewhere. I started just being a little bit more happier. I started being a bit more just cheerful and just truly moving on, truly forgetting, and slowly those painful feelings started slowly going out of my body, and I was fully me again, but better. I let go and I let God. And yes, during even though when I was I guess healed, I did drink and I did have this and I did that and I messed up, but I was one completely single and was ready to mingle, but um I had my share of fun. And God did trust me. He was like, "Hey, you're having too much fun. Hey, don't forget about the bigger picture. Don't forget about putting God first." So I had my fair shares of critical moments of like, okay, hey, don't forget God. But the main thing I'm going to tell you guys, or whoever's watching this is going through something like this, is that don't let Satan win, because it's easy for somebody to get easily influenced and go to the route of self-harm and go to the route of let's just drink every day to numb the pain. Let's fucking do drugs, smoke, whatever, anything to just forget about this girl. No, 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 no. If you want to truly forget and you want to truly be free, is learn how to forgive them and learn how to move on from them the right way. Just let go and let God. Doesn't hurt to pick up a Bible and to just open up a verse, because man, oh man, oh man, there are some good verses in there. Okay, I just wanted to share that story and wanted to share that piece of me, because it's a piece of me who doesn't really exist. You know, the lover boy in me still is there. You know what I'm saying? But it's there for somebody who really deserves it. You know, do I joke around and say, yo, I have trust issues now. I can never trust a female ever again. But everyone's different. And I know that. My frontal lobe's developed, dude. I'm 26 years old. But listen, if I'm being frank with you, I know that true loves exist. Why? Because the love that I look for the most, I had it with her. For the first 2 years, it was there. The love that I so desired and craved, and I thought I could never find. I did have it, but she just wasn't the right person for me. She wasn't the right fit. That's okay. What she did, yes, was wrong. Yes, I get it. Truly, I understand it was bad, but it doesn't mean that I'm not gonna criticize her for that and stuff like that. I'm not gonna bash her name and you know, call her a bunch of horrible names. No, why would I do that? What do I gain from doing that? You know? Yes, I could feel good about it and whatever, but what does that do for her? We're all human and we all have feelings. We all have a heart. And yes, we're all gonna do stuff that we're gonna regret later on. Maybe she will regret it. Who knows? But the thing is that I honestly don't really care, you know, because I grew out of it so much where it's like I don't care about her anymore. It sucks to say because she was like my everything at one point, but I do not care about. I don't care enough to be like you know what I'm saying. I don't want to sound rude either. It's not that I'm saying I hate her. Like that. No, it's just I hope that she's well and I hope that her family's well. Her family was always nice to me and stuff like that. I hope that God puts her into the right path and you know makes her understand that hey, like I don't know, open your eyes and like get closer to God because he's real. I know he is. So like I'm not going to push that narrative of like bashing her name and calling her these horrible things. No, what do I gain? I forgave her already, and I truly forgiving her was hard, but I did it, and now I'm in a happier state of mind. I have inner peace. I could say with that at least, and now I'm on a different journey. I'm on a spiritual journey with God now, side by side, trying to be a better man. You know, I mess up, and I'm trying to kind of pick myself up and perfect. Not trying to be the perfect man, but just to be the man that God wants me to be. You know. So yeah, that's gonna be today's episode. And I hope that whoever is watching this and whoever resonated, and if you're going through a heartbreak, it gets better. Trusting God and trusting in God's plan, and don't fall for the traps that Satan is trying to set for you. It's easy to drink away your problems, but the real battle and the real growth is to really come face to face and truly understand and truly just let go and let God. So yeah, that is my episode for today. If you guys did enjoy it, it was a juicy one. And if you have any questions about it, leave in the comments below. But yeah, I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for always just being here with me about my rants and stuff like that. I truly do enjoy it, and I hope to see you guys again next week. I love you guys. Stay cute, stay blessed. Later, alligator. Boom. That was a juicy episode.